Welcome to a day in the Word. Today's reading is Esther chapter 3 through Esther chapter 4. Esther chapter 3. After these things happened, King Xerxes honored Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite. The king promoted Haman and gave him a place of honor, more important than any of the other leaders. All the king's leaders at the king's gate would bow down and give honor to Haman. This is what the king commanded them to do. But Mordecai refused to bow down and give honor to Haman. Then the king's leaders at the gate asked Mordecai, "Why don't you obey the king's command to bow down to Haman?" Day after day, the king's leaders spoke to Mordecai, but he refused to obey the command to bow down to Haman. So they told Haman about it. They wanted to see what Haman would do about Mordecai. Mordecai had told them that he was a Jew. When Haman saw that Mordecai refused to bow down to him or give him honor, he was very angry. Haman had learned that Mordecai was a Jew, but he was not satisfied to kill only Mordecai. He also wanted to find a way to destroy all of Mordecai's people, the Jews, and all of Xerxes' kingdom. In the 12th year of King Xerxes' rule, in the first month, the month of Nisan, Haman threw lots to choose a special day and month. And the 12th month, the month of Adar, was chosen. At that time, a lot was called Pur. Then Haman called to King Xerxes and said, "King Xerxes, there is a certain group of people scattered among the people in all the provinces of your kingdom. They keep themselves separate from other people. Their customs are different from those of all other people, and they don't obey the king's laws. It is not right for the king to allow them to continue to live in your kingdom. If it pleases the king, I have a suggestion. Give a command to destroy these people, and I will put 750,000 pounds of silver into the king's treasury. This money could be used to pay the men who do these things." So the king took the official ring off his finger and gave it to Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite. Haman was the enemy of the Jews. Then the king said to Haman, "Keep the money. Do what you want with them." Then on the 13th day of the first month, the king's secretaries were called. They wrote out all of Haman's commands in the language of each province, and they wrote them in the language of each group of people. They wrote to the king's satraps, the governors of the different provinces, and the leaders of the different groups of people. They wrote with the authority of King Xerxes himself and sealed the commands with the king's own ring. Messengers carried the letters to all the king's provinces. The letters were the king's command to ruin, kill, and completely destroy all the Jews. This meant young people and old people, women and little children too. The command was to kill all the Jews on a single day. The day was to be the 13th day of the 12th month, the month of Adar. And the command was to take everything that belonged to the Jews. A copy of the letters with the command was to be given as a law. It was to be a law in every province and announced to the people of every nation living in the kingdom. Then everyone would be ready for that day. At the king's command, the messengers hurried off. The command was given in the capital city of Susa. The king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city of Susa was in confusion. Esther chapter 4. When Mordecai heard about all that had been done, he tore his clothes. Then he put on sackcloth, put ashes on his head, and went out into the city, crying loudly. But Mordecai went only as far as the king's gate. No one was allowed to enter the gate dressed in sackcloth. In every province where the king's command had come, there was much crying and sadness among the Jews. They were fasting and crying loudly. Many Jews were lying on the ground dressed in sackcloth with ashes on their heads. Esther's slave women and eunuchs came to her and told her about Mordecai. This made Queen Esther very sad and upset. She sent clothes for Mordecai to put on instead of sackcloth, but he would not accept them. Then Esther called Hathach, one of the king's eunuchs, who had been chosen to serve her. She commanded him to find out what was bothering Mordecai and why. So Hathach went out to where Mordecai was in the open palace, in the open place of the city in front of the king's gate. Then Mordecai told Hathach everything that had happened to him. Mordecai told him about the exact amount of money Haman had promised to put into the king's treasury for killing Jews. Mordecai also gave Hathach a copy of the king's command to kill the Jews. The command had been sent out all over the city of Susa. He wanted Hathach to show it to Esther and tell her everything, and he told him to encourage Esther to go to the king and beg him for mercy for Mordecai and her people. Hathach went back and told Esther everything Mordecai had said. Then Esther told Hathach to say this to Mordecai: Mordecai, all the king's leaders and all the people of the king's province know this. The king has one law for any man or woman who goes to the king without being called. That person must be put to death unless the king holds out his gold scepter to them. If the king does this, that person's life will be saved. And I have not been called to go see the king for 30 days. Then Esther's message was given to Mordecai. When he got her message, Mordecai sent his answer back. Esther, don't think that just because you live in the king's palace, you will be the only Jew to escape. If you keep quiet now, help and freedom for the Jews will come from another place. But you and your father's family will all die. And who knows, maybe you have been chosen to be the queen for such a time as this. Then Esther sent this answer to Mordecai: Mordecai, go and get all the Jews in Susa together and fast for me. Don't eat or drink for 3 days and nights. I and my women servants will fast too. After we fast, I will go to the king. I know it is against the law to go to the king if he didn't call me, but I will do it anyway. If I die, I die. So Mordecai went away and did everything Esther told him to do. Thank you for joining A Day in the Word Bible in a Year series. Please subscribe, like, comment, and don't forget to turn on that notification bell. Until next time, Shalom.